A deep-sea diving expedition discovered a sunken temple with no known origin. The first diver went in and screamed. When we pulled him back up, his eyes were solid black. He smiled, lips parting to reveal too many teeth. "I remember now," he whispered. "I was never meant to leave." Then the others started singing the same word in perfect unison, "Return." I never thought I'd end up telling this story. I've been a diver for over 12 years, mostly doing undersea maintenance, research support, and charters off the South Carolina coast. I've seen some weird stuff before, sunken boats, strange sea life, even a few skeletal remains, but nothing like what happened this past February. Nothing that could have prepared me for that. It started when I got a call from a company I'd never heard of before, Verity Core Systems. They offered me a job that sounded simple: assist in a multi-week deep-sea expedition to survey some unknown sonar findings off the coast of Charleston. It was supposedly a geological anomaly. That's what they said. They offered me $125,000 for 6 weeks of work. No questions asked. Just sign the paperwork and follow their lead. I'd never made more than $70,000 in a year. So yeah, I said yes. The crew was small, 7 of us total. Me, Dan, Keller, my best friend and lead diver, Luis, diver, ex-Navy, Rachel, our medical lead, Kim, data analyst, Jeremy, marine biologist, and Farley, the Verity rep. He acted like he was in charge even though he didn't have any dive experience. He always carried this tablet he never let go of and stayed on calls all the time with someone named Director Manning. From the start, something felt off. We weren't given coordinates until the boat was already out at sea. When we got there, we weren't allowed to record anything personally. No phones, no outside comms. Just the equipment provided by Verity. We used an ROV to scan first. I stayed topside watching the monitors with Kim. When it got deep enough, about 11,000 feet, we saw something. It wasn't a reef. It was a structure. A damn massive one. It looked ancient. Dark stone, maybe volcanic. Covered in weird barnacles and overgrowth. There were carvings all over it, but nothing recognizable. No crosses, no language, no art style that made sense. Just these spirals. Over and over. Like eyes or whirlpools. Some big, some tiny. It looked alive. Then we got the sonar pulses. The readings showed a rhythmic sound, like a heartbeat. Every 23 seconds, exactly. Boom. 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 Jeremy said he'd never seen anything like it. Rachel got uneasy. She asked if this was volcanic. Farley just told us to prepare for the manned dive. Keller volunteered. Of course he did. He was always the one to jump first. I wish I'd stopped him. I really wish I had. We prepped him with the descent suit. Full comms, pressure locked. I stayed with Kim on the monitors, watching him drop into that black pit. He was calm. Cracking jokes. "You guys better have a beer ready when I get back." Then silence. No panic. No shout. Just, nothing. We called for him. Repeated his name. All we got was static. And then something else. A whispering sound, low and raspy. We couldn't make it out. Rachel said we should pull him up. Farley said no. He's fine. Stay on task. But his voice didn't sound sure. I hit the manual override. Started the ascent. If he wanted to fire me, fine. When Keller came up, we dragged him out fast. His suit was intact. No breach. But he wasn't the same. His eyes were pure black. No white, no pupils. Just darkness. He smiled wide. Too wide. His lips stretched and I saw rows of sharp little teeth. Like a deep-sea predator. He leaned in close to my face and said, "I remember now. I was never meant to leave." I backed away. Rachel screamed. That's when the others started changing. Jeremy, Kim, Luis, all of them. Their faces went blank. Their eyes went dark, too. They started humming. And then the word started. Return. One word. Over and over. In the same voice. Perfect sync. Like they weren't individuals anymore. Rachel and I tried to run. She made it to the side of the boat and jumped. I haven't seen her since. I locked myself in the supply hold for hours. When I came out, Keller was gone. Vanished. The rest of them were standing on the deck, motionless, facing the sea. Still humming. Still saying it. Return. I radioed the Coast Guard and told them we had an emergency. They found the boat drifting. I told them my crew was gone. They ruled it a mental breakdown. Claimed I had some kind of decompression trauma. That the others probably drowned. But that's not what happened. I've seen them. I saw Kim in a park in Charleston. Her eyes were normal, but when she looked at me, she smiled that same smile. Wide. Hungry. Luis walked past me in a gas station in Atlanta. He didn't speak. Just stared. Then he whispered, "Return. They're not dead. They're spreading. And I'm still fighting it. But it's getting harder. I'm hearing it in my sleep now. That same word. Return. And I've started losing time. I'll find myself staring at the ocean without knowing how I got there. Or humming under my breath without realizing it. I don't know how much longer I've got. But I can feel it coming. I think that place changed them. Or maybe woke something in them. Something that wants us all to go back. And I'm the last one who hasn't. Continue the story, add conflicts or story twist, keeping the details sharp and the tone dramatic, use simple words, no ending yet, continued. I stayed holed up in my apartment for weeks after that. I barely ate. Didn't turn on the TV. I just watched the hallway, checked the locks over and over, and kept a dive knife under my pillow. Then I got a call. It was Rachel. She was alive. Her voice was hoarse, and she whispered like she was afraid someone might be listening. "Dan. They're everywhere. They're not just following you. They're building something. Somewhere inland. Meet me in Asheville. Come alone." Then she hung up. I drove 6 hours that night straight through. Asheville was quiet. Cold. I parked 2 blocks from the spot she told me, an old diner off a dead road, half boarded up. Rachel was there. She looked rough, like she hadn't slept in days. Her left arm was bandaged, and she flinched at every sound. She didn't waste time. They're not human anymore. Not Keller. Not Kim. None of them. They've been changed. You know it, don't you? I nodded. I felt it every second of every day. I've been tracking Verity, she said. They're not just a research company. They're part of something older. Something bigger. This isn't the first time they found structures like that. That hit me hard. Wait, what do you mean? There was one found off the coast of Norway. Another one near Chile. Same depth. Same layout. And the same pattern, black eyes, missing people, that word. Return. She slid me a photo she printed off. It was grainy, but I recognized the people in it. Keller. Kim. Luis. They were standing in front of a half-buried stone pillar. Inland. In the woods. In Kentucky. This was taken 3 days ago. That made no sense. Keller vanished into the ocean. But there he was. Dry. Clean. And smiling that same awful smile. Rachel leaned in closer. They're moving inland. And they're building something underground. Why? She looked at me like she didn't want to say the words. Because they're calling it back. That night we camped outside town in a cheap motel. Took turns watching the door. At 3:17 a.m., I heard it. A scraping sound against the door. Then a voice. Dan. It's me. Keller. I didn't move. I didn't answer. Come on, man. Don't be scared. You're one of us. You've always been. You just forgot. Rachel was already dialing someone. Her hand was shaking. The voice kept talking. You don't have to fight it. Just open the door. Come back with us. Return. I grabbed the chair and jammed it under the handle. Rachel lit a match and held it to the fire alarm. It worked. The alarm blared and the sprinklers kicked on. When I flung the door open, no one was there. But the hallway smelled like salt water. Rachel's contact was a retired Navy sonar tech named Mitch. We met him the next day. He was paranoid, twitchy, and drank black coffee by the gallon. But he had a map. He pointed at a red X over a stretch of forest in Kentucky. They're digging there. I've picked up sonar interference from inland. Deep readings that make no sense. Like something's resonating under the earth. What does that mean? I asked. He didn't look at me when he answered. It means they're bringing the temple here. We drove to Kentucky that night. It was cold. Fog hugged the ground the entire way through the back roads. None of us talked much. Rachel sat in the passenger seat reading through Mitch's notes. He followed in a separate truck, always keeping distance. By sunrise, we were in a part of Daniel Boone National Forest that felt untouched. No hikers. No rangers. Just trees, and silence. The GPS wouldn't work past a certain point. Our phones went dead too, even with backup batteries. Mitch said it was interference, but I could tell he was more scared than he let on. We hiked in. After 2 hours of nothing but brush and trees, we found it. Or rather, we heard it first. That pulse. Boom. 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 Like a slow heartbeat in the ground. Rachel turned white. She started mumbling the word, "no," over and over. I grabbed her arm to keep her grounded. We kept going. The clearing wasn't natural. It had been cut out, but not cleanly. Trees were snapped, not cut. Like something had torn through them. There were holes drilled into the earth. Huge tunnels. And the smell, wet stone and old metal. Mitch pulled out a sensor reader and it went haywire. Red lights flashing, a beeping that never stopped. He dropped it. Then we saw the figures. Not people. Not anymore. They walked in a slow loop around one of the tunnels. Dozens of them. All in sync. No talking. Just moving in that same spiraling path. Eyes black. Smiles stretched. Some of them had scars that looked like they were carved, spiral shapes, like the ones on the temple walls. Keller was there. So was Kim. And Farley. And dozens of others. People we didn't recognize. All part of it now. Rachel pulled out her phone and tried to record. It didn't turn on. Not even after swapping the battery. "This is it," Mitch whispered. "This is a summoning." I didn't understand. Summoning what? Not what. Where? They're trying to bring it here. The temple isn't a place. It's a being. A living thing buried in the ocean for centuries. They're waking it up. I wanted to turn back. Every part of me screamed to run. But Rachel stepped forward. We have to stop them. That's when the singing started. Low at first. Then louder. That same word. Always that word. Return. 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 We ducked low and backed out of the clearing. The sound followed us. Even after we were half a mile away, we could still hear it. Rachel pulled out a small case from her pack. Inside were 6 high-powered charges. Military grade. How the hell did you get those? I asked. I didn't leave the Navy on good terms, she said, almost smiling. We planned to go back that night. Mitch drew up a simple map of the tunnels. We'd plant the charges at the tunnel entrances and set a timed detonation. The goal wasn't to kill anyone. It was to seal whatever they were trying to open. But nothing ever goes the way you plan. That night, we went in with headlamps and gear. At the edge of the clearing, the singing had stopped. There were no patrols. No one walking in spirals. It was dead silent. Too silent. Rachel planted the first charge. Mitch took the second. I had the third. We never got to the fourth. From the tunnel nearest to me, a shape came out. It was human, but not. Its arms were too long. Its head tilted too far to the side. And its mouth, it didn't open. It split. From ear to ear, straight down the throat. It didn't speak. It just opened that awful mouth and let out a sound I can't even describe. Like metal scraping underwater and bones breaking at the same time. Mitch screamed. 3 more of them came from the woods. One of them grabbed Rachel. I ran. I didn't mean to. I should have helped her. But my body just ran. I still hate myself for that. I ran until my legs gave out. Collapsed somewhere in the woods, curled under a fallen log, I waited for morning. I didn't sleep. I couldn't. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Rachel's face, frozen in fear, reaching out as that thing pulled her into the dark. By sunrise, I made it back to the road. Mitch didn't. I never saw him again. But the charges, they were still on the detonator. All 3 of them. I could have left. No one would have blamed me. Everyone else was either taken or turned. But I couldn't stop seeing Keller's face. Or Farley's. Or the way Rachel whispered, "They're building something," like it was already too late. So I went back. I forced myself to walk into that clearing again. And this time, it was different. They were waiting. A full circle of them, standing around the main tunnel. Not speaking. Not moving. Just watching me. Keller stepped forward. His mouth moved, but the voice came from all around me. You came back. Good. It's easier when they stop fighting. I held up the detonator. Let her go. He smiled. Rachel chose the sea the moment she jumped. But you still remember the sky. That makes you useful. What are you? The first. The last. The gate. The echo. None of it made sense. I thumbed the switch. You think fire can stop it? Keller asked. You can destroy a tunnel. Not the memory. Not the song. Not what's already awake. I pressed it anyway. The charges blew. The earth buckled. Fire and smoke tore through the trees. The circle scattered. For the first time, I heard them scream. But I was too close. The blast knocked me back. I hit the ground hard. My leg was shattered. Couldn't move. I lay there bleeding while the tunnel collapsed in on itself. One of the creatures crawled out, half melted from the explosion. It dragged itself toward me. Then it stopped. Inches from my face. It stared into my eyes. And whispered. "It's not over." Then it died. That was 6 weeks ago. I'm writing this from a rehab center in Missouri. The FBI questioned me. So did men in black suits who didn't give names. They confiscated everything. They said the explosion was caused by a gas pocket. They said the forest fire was contained. They said there were no bodies. They're lying. I still see them. In crowds. In reflections. Watching. Rachel's gone. Keller too. But I think part of them stayed behind. In me. In all of us who touched that place. I still hear the word in my dreams. Sometimes I wake up soaked in seawater. Sometimes I wake up humming. I tell myself I did the right thing. That I stopped it. But I didn't. Because yesterday, I got a package. No return address. Just a flash drive. On it? A video clip. It was Kim. Standing in front of another tunnel, this one in the Arizona desert. She looked right at the camera. Her eyes black as night. "You tried to stop us." She smiled. "Now we remember." And in the background, dozens of voices, in perfect unison, sang one word, "Return."